Hello everyone and welcome to another Guild Wars 2 video. Today we're going to look at the changes that the Tequatl Rising living story brought in. Now Tequatl Rising, as you can probably guess from the name, is mostly about the dragon champion Tequatl. From their main website, their little taglines are, "It has been gathering power in the depths. It is faster, stronger, deadlier. It has returned to devour and destroy. It is called Tequatl the Sunless, and it has evolved." Now, Tequatl the Sunless, who was a champion of Zhaitan, we fought multiple times in Sparkfly Fen, and before he's been pretty simple to kill. You just stood to the right of him and shot at his toe until he died. Not very hard. This update has changed his fight dramatically, so that now it requires a large, coordinated group of players to take it down. The footage in the background is actually from one of one of our better successful attempts on Tequatl, with I think 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining at the end. So the new mechanics of the fight mostly revolve around the turrets that have always been at this fight and not ever been used for anything. These turret skills have been revamped to where I think number 1 just shoots a damaging attack, number 2 removes a stack of hardened scales, which I'll go over in a second. Number 3 removes the poison that's on the ground. Number 4 gives a quickness and might field. And number 5 gives a healing and vigor field. Tequatl himself now has new abilities, such as he will stomp the ground, which will create a wave. This wave can either be jumped over or in later stages simply dodged through or avoided. The way this fight is basically done is this. You fight him down to 25%, taking quite a long time to do so. He's stacking up hardened scales on himself, which don't do anything until they get to 20 stacks. If this gets to 20 stacks, then he goes invulnerable and the bone wall comes up, which must be DPS down very quickly. Once he reaches 25%, he'll go invulnerable and stomp away and fly off. This will initiate a second event, which is to defend the Mega Laser and its 3 charging stations. This is you have 2 minutes to do this event, and there are waves of Risen, different types of Risen at each of the charging stations, that you must fend off from the stations and keep them from killing it. If you fail, then Tequatl will come back and make a gigantic tidal wave, which will basically kill everyone on the beach, unless you're way up in the air. Apparently there's a secret achievement for being on a jump pad in the middle of that, so that's nice. But if you succeed, when Tequatl flies back in, the Mega Laser will shoot him down, and he'll be stunned on the ground. Now this stun stage is what we call the burn phase. You immediately have to unload on him as much as possible because you'll be doing a lot more damage than usual. And this happens every 25%. Once he gets to a 25%, he gets new abilities, or his old abilities get improved. For instance, at 75%, he starts getting the Twisting Whirlpool, I believe is what it's called. It pulls people underwater into poisonous water that you have to swim up, or you constantly take damage within it. This update's nice, and it does give us a new fight and a new mechanics on an old boss, but you might be wondering, why is a champion of a dragon that we've killed becoming stronger? Now, Rocks and the Vigil are here to investigate this, and they are gathering samples. For instance, I think there's pieces of claws and teeth and all that scattered around Sparkfly Fen for the Sunless. And they're also investigating Claw of Jormag and the Shatterer as well. Now, this update doesn't exactly give us much details on this, but there has been a mod post saying this will be developed on further, and there is a reason. Now, it's my theory, not only is Tequatl getting stronger, but probably Claw of Jormag and the Shatterer are also going to end up being stronger. I'm guessing once the Vigil is able to look at the samples they have, they'll also go, oh, look, these guys are also getting stronger. I wonder why. It is really interesting, though, that Tequatl, of all of them, is the one who's the strongest so far. There are theories floating around that he has run into Bubbles, the deep sea dragon, and that somehow he's gained power from that. But usually dragon minions are known to fight each other over whatever they have to. It's just not been seen very much because they're sort of scattered on their own everywhere. So this update, I like the idea of it, but I see a few problems coming up of it. First, this is a very challenging boss that requires full coordination of a map to complete it. Now, I'm on a mid-tier server. We're able to do it. Imagine being on, let's say, Anvil Rock or Eridon Terrace. How are they going to ever do this besides guesting? How are we going to do this after this event, after the Living World's over, and there's less interest to go to this hard boss who doesn't give that great of rewards? I mean, he has a chance for a unique ascended weapon just to Tequatl, but I don't know if that's enough to pull people to this fight. Also, this instance of the fight, along with the wonderful changes we have coming in World v. World, which I'm not going to go into too much, but I'm not a fan of. Along with these changes, World v. World presence has taken a pretty big hit across the board, especially on servers that already relied on smaller numbers. Let's just say Emery Bay usually has been able to hold together during the day with basically a skeleton crew, because we do not have very big numbers, especially for our rankings. This skeleton crew is partly because of the bloodlust mechanics in the upcoming leagues, and partly because some of them are out trying to kill Tequatl. They've gotten even smaller, and there's hardly anyone to hold down the fort anymore. And I know this isn't just restricted to our server. I've seen posts all over the forums complaining about this. Some people because there's supposed to be an organized boycott of World v. World because of these changes, but I see this as a problem going forward. Also, I have to point out that there are several achievements for this fight that they kind of encourage you to do the wrong things. For instance, the tail flail, the treasure in the deep, and that hidden achievement I talked about earlier that depends on a mechanic of the fight failing to be able to get it. I mean, why do you put these kind of achievements in the game? I don't understand that at all. I mean, it's nice to have a nice little bit of variation on the achievements instead of just, oh, go kill Tequatl and kill Fingers and but it doesn't encourage good gameplay and teamwork on a fight that needs massive teamwork. Overall, I'm not too impressed with this Living Story update. The fight changes are nice, but they should have given a little more story to this. We have Rox, who just shows up and says, oh, we're investigating the dragons. I think all they needed to tie this in and make it a lot better and have less complaints is if they'd just given us a little cutscene, a little instance cutscene between Rox and the Vigil after you completed these steps that goes, oh yeah, these samples are showing Tequatl is getting stronger. I don't know why, but it's starting to show up in the Claw of Jormag samples and the Shatterer samples too. Why couldn't something like that have been done? That would have just tied all of this in together really nicely and kept all of us happy. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, of course, like it, whatever. And I have more Living Story videos up on my channel. This should be in the playlist with them all. I'm really looking forward to next month's, or the next Living Story update, because it's going back to Sylvari, and who doesn't like Sylvari? Everyone likes Sylvari, especially Traherne. All of you like Traherne. But thanks again for watching, and see you guys next time.